Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Oh my gosh, is that ever delicious? I'll tell you what. And my first sips, and this cup is full. I'll tell you that. Yep. And oh boy, guys, do we ever need a full cup of coffee this morning? That is for sure. Reading a bunch of articles, and what I'm going to touch on, and then I'm going to get into something going on in this digital asset space that is truly obscene. But this is how they play the game, guys. Anyway, this first article that I read, and it's from The Hedge, and I'm going to put the link right down in here. Well, California, one of their public pension plans went out there. They lost 71% of the pension fund. Can you imagine that? And guys, they lost it investing in windmills. Can you believe it? I mean, how would you like to wake up and find out that the pension that you're relying on just has lost over 71% of its value? That is obscene. And the mismanagement that we see in a lot of these public funds, you know, that when you're talking to pension plans and things like that, is truly wild. And to think that they could have invested into this blockchain space and absolutely probably multiplied that pension 5, maybe even 10 times. But nope, they are out invested in windmills, if you can imagine, a technology that has been proven not to be able to deliver on, what it promised, when they said, hey, we're going to have all this great energy and all this and this and that. And it hasn't been able to deliver on that one iota, guys. And of course, a lot of jurisdictions now around the wide world are walking away from that, because the maintenance cost is just ridiculous. And of course, it doesn't produce the amount of power that they thought it would. And what a situation. But that's kind of the mentality, They kind of just go with groupthink. They put it all on the line and down she goes. When right under their nose, when you think about it, in California, you had Ripple down there. You had all these other tech companies and all this blockchain space. Literally, they could have probably maxed it 10x for sure. Absolutely. Wow, wow, wow. It never ceases to amaze me, guys, the absolute stupidity that we can see when we're dealing with a lot of these bureaucrats and the mismanagement, of our tax dollars, and even, and of course in this case, pension funds and stuff like that. Just never ceases to amaze me. Now, something else that's going on in this space, and I got to give our good friend Zach Rector a shout out for this, because he actually was the one, I believe, that actually found this out, because he kind of dug deep and got in there, and we're reading some of these, applications for these S1s, for the ETFs. But apparently, the wording in the ETFs for XRP, and it seems to be coordinated, because each and every one of them, guys, says the same thing. And that is why we have seen a delay in the XRP ETFs being approved, because they did not put the wording in there as it should have been. And it looks like it was done with intention, because Canary, they did that for the Solana and the HBAR ETFs. They put in the correct wording in there. And as a result, those, boom, they just came out. Well, XRP, they didn't do it. Now, ask yourself a question. Why, oh why would they have intentionally gone out and did that, so that, and knowing what the result would be, all of them coordinating together, these 7-spot XRP ETFs, guys, to me, that, I know it's hard news for us to kind of digest, but it shows how bullish we can be on XRP, because the only reason they would do that, guys, is because they have a plan of when they want to release it. And that plan is in coordination with everything else that they have been doing. And XRP, come on, guys, if you're holding it back like that, that spring is getting coiled. And when they finally let that thing go, boom, do I ever believe we are going to see a massive springboard upward. And my thinking is the reason why they possibly did that in coordination like that has to do a lot with these SPACs, these special acquisition corporations that are going out there and gobbling up XRP into the billions and hundreds of millions of dollars. and just stacking their bags, guys, just stuffing it away, stuffing it away, stuffing it away, because they know when they let this thing out of the cage, boom, it is going to go wild. That's why. And I think that they did it with coordination, because I think a lot of them are in on these SPACs as well. And it's just another reason for me to be all the more bullish about XRP. Like I love to say, you've heard me say it so many times. Come on. We can't be whales, but we can stack our pennies next to their dollars. I don't follow their advice. I follow their behavior. And so even though we may have a little bit of a wait here, it could even be, well, they said November 14th. But, you know, and the SEC with the lockdown or the shutdown, the lockdown feels like a lockdown, but the shutdown, when the shutdown, you know, kind of gets over with and they get that all done with, maybe the SEC is going to come in and they're just going to, like, you know, green light them, bang, 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 bang. And it's going to happen, you know, really fast. And that could be, you know, by that November 14th, which is just 2 weeks away. But guys, if it's not, and we are waiting until, like, let's say the end of November, in that range there, then I think it's an opportunity for you and I to go out there and do what they're doing and accumulate. That is my personal opinion. That's probably what Judy and I, you know, that's how we look at these things here. We look at these things as we buy the dips, guys. Now, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm telling you what we're doing. And that's what we do. We go out and we buy the dips. When we accumulate it big time in those dips. And the reason is because our confidence in XRP, where it would go and what it would do and all that was huge, huge, huge. And we, you know, we were buying XRP, come on, at 11 and 12 cents, you know, 17 to 19, big block we got there, you know, even up all the way through as along with everybody else, buying XRP because our conviction is there. And not only XRP, Judy and I set aside a pretty big bag of HBAR, XLM. There's different ones that we can do. But I'll tell you what, you cannot deny what is coming in for this space and how fast it's actually approaching. And I think these guys know it, and that's why they went out and did it. Yep, I do. Now, of course, can't prove it. But, you know, we all got our opinions and thoughts as to the reason why. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that Canaries, for sure, would go out there, you know, and file the right paperwork for Solana and HBAR, knowing what the right verbiage was to be, and then not do it on their XRP one. And it seems in coordination with every other one that was filed for XRP. That just doesn't pass the smell test for me, at least. And so I have to say, there's got to be some rationale behind it. And the only thing I can think of, guys, is they're holding it back. And they're holding it back because they're out accumulating. That's what I really believe there. They're out accumulating, and they know when they let the spring go, it's up it goes, up it goes. And so that's what I'm expecting. And you just got to have your wits about you when you see this stuff going on, because it can just shake a person out. I mean, I woke up, XRP today, 246. I'm like, well, this is par for the course. You get any kind of good news in this space, and it seems like, you know, the price goes down, not up. I mean, just yesterday, you know, we had Jerome Powell up there dropping the rates again. And of course, what happens? Well, the market goes down. It seems to blip down for whatever reason right there. Maybe it's a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of deal. And then, of course, it does pop back up. Look, they are getting rid of quantitative tightening. That's ending as of December 1. That means, guys, that they are going to actually loosen the belt and they are going to pour money into it. Now, I almost laugh when I hear about this whole quantitative tightening thing, because we know that they're actually minting, what, $1 trillion every 90 days, that kind of thing. $1 trillion, guys. And so when they have quantitative easing, what's it going to be? $5 trillion every 90 days? Who knows? But it's going to be wild, and money is going to move. That is one thing for sure. It does not stay stagnant, guys. They are not looking for safe havens. They are going to get on to risk on assets, and you can just watch it happen with the equities. With this, it is going to actually move big time. But guys, like I said the other day, I do believe we'll see a major pump up, a big time one, big, big, big. But after that, I think it's going to absolutely crash. And so you have got to be ready, guys, for what that will represent. And after that crash, yep, I think the Phoenix will rise from that ashes, guys. And I think you better believe it. We're going to see some big time deals go down. and we're going to be moved right into this new digital economy. That's what I see coming, and I think it's going to come, guys, within probably the next 6 to 18 months. The whole thing's going to be over, but be ready for it. Don't let yourself get buffaloed by all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Be wise, 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 sharp, sharp, sharp. Identify the psychology of this market and get yourself ready for what's coming, because I think it's going to be absolutely massive, and we have not seen anything like it yet. The alt season and the bull cycle, from my perspective, is not over, and I am looking towards the end of the year of what we could possibly see. I think it's going to be absolutely mesmerizing, and probably going to rhyme with what happened there in 2017, because in 2017, right about this time, oh, the FUD was just going wild. A lot of people were capitulating, and literally within the last 2 months, man alive, one of the biggest moves we have ever seen in this distributed ledger technology space, this digital asset space, and literally made the fortunes of so many. And guys, Judy and I, we're buckled up. We're ready. We're holding on. We got our ticket. We're sitting there in that rocket ship ready to blast right through the atmosphere. And I can't wait to see you there, guys. Cannot wait for it. So I'll tell you what, until later on today when we have another fantastic video, guys, have a fabulous one and take care.